Hello, my name is Deane Bloem and welcome to the Elephant Dive YouTube channel. In life, many of us tend to experience either a midlife crisis or a quarter life crisis. This brings issues that we begin to dwell on, and we start protecting things instead of protecting ourselves. And we invest in so much that in the end, it just brings us to a point where we need to just end up opening our eyes and seeing the bigger picture. Today, I'm going to be talking about walking with clarity instead of walking in crisis. So, to touch on the first point, I'll mention the quarter life crisis first, as I am closer to the age that many people tend to experience this. So, I'm 22. Quarter life crisis is explained to be like the time in between 25 to 30, where people feel that they just haven't accomplished much, or they just decide to evaluate their life, but it's usually more in a negative way. And same goes for midlife crisis. You reach 50 and you just realize that there's more days behind you than there are ahead of you, and you start to question, are you doing the right thing? Are you where you're supposed to be? And when this happens, there's so many things that we just begin to dwell on, and negative that we start to dwell on. Like stuff that we haven't done. Instead of looking at what you have accomplished and how you can continue to move positively in that direction, it always ends up just being a session of you just bullying yourself. Only the session doesn't end. When you wake up, it just continues and continues and continues. Funny enough, if I need to just make this more personal, we protect other things instead of protecting ourselves. So I recently watched a video of someone explaining how we protect our phones, but we don't protect our hearts. And the reason why it rang so true to me, because a few days ago, this wasn't in relation to my phone, but more in relation to a material possession, which was my lyric book. So I have two song books because I'm also a songwriter, and I was walking home and somebody just tried to snatch my backpack away from me. So with quick thinking, I just pulled both of us into the road, because I was like, there's no way I'm letting him get away with my lyric books. I didn't care about like my wallet that was in there. The only thing I worried about was and cared about was my lyric books. And only afterwards, because he didn't get the bag, I realized I basically risked our lives in order just to save these two books, because it's a very busy road. It's on a very sharp turn, so cars can't really see what's happening in the bin that we were in. So, yeah, it made me realize that we do so much to protect what belongs to us, and things that can be replaced. And yes, in that moment, it felt like the lyrics wouldn't be replaced, even though my writing does get better every day. It was just, it made it, if I just really need to go deep into it, it just made me realize how much willing to go through, how much I'm willing to put of myself into something in order to protect something that can just be replaced, instead of protecting myself, instead of protecting my heart. And going into the next point, like, we tend to invest in so much that ends up breaking us. And many times people will think that we're just talking about relationships when we say this. However, we invest ourselves in work. We invest ourselves in our families. We invest ourselves in social media, anything that we just do that is our own. We invest ourselves in our art to a point where if things get to a point where they just do not work out in the way that we wished it would, we just start tapping out. We begin to break. We become so despondent and so angry and so hurt. We just do not protect ourselves. We go into work and we invest so much of our time into it, so much of our life, because we just want to get to a certain point in our life, and to do so much, we just focus on what we're doing for our careers to a point where we're just not protecting ourselves. When really, all of this can just be avoided with just one thought: that you're always exactly where you need to be. It's not a mistake that you are where you are right now. It's not a mistake that you're doing what you're doing right now, because you are impacting people's lives without knowing it. You are being a part of people's stories that you didn't think you would be a part of. You are creating an impact. You are exactly where you need to be. You are doing what you need to be doing. And of course, if you're unhappy, there's always the opportunity to change that. But when we do that change, we always just need to stay open, because things can happen that open our eyes, and we just need to see the message in it. Like with me, the attempted, robbery was, or mugging rather, let me not say robbery. The attempted mugging was opened my eyes for me to be like, wow, I'm really passionate about this, to a point where I would rather be dead than to be without it. Yeah, so there's a lot of times where we should just look at something, and even though we feel like we're in crisis, just step back and start walking in clarity. I really hope that if there is a takeaway from this, that is exactly what the takeaway is. No matter what happens, there's always a message, no matter how negative it may seem at first. Just to step back, let go of our tunnel vision, and just see the bigger picture. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. I intend to post a video every Tuesday and Thursday, so you'll be seeing a lot of me. And you can follow me on my socials, that will be in the description. Thank you so much. I'm Deane Bloem, and this was Elephant Dive.